Welcome to the Augusta Golf Show podcast. Now, here's John Patrick.
Scott McCarron won 3 times on the PGA Tour, 11 times on the PGA Tour Champions Tour, but earlier this week scored his biggest victory. It has been a minute. It's a pleasure to welcome Scott McCarron back to the Augusta Golf Show. As I told you earlier, Scott, it's great to hear your voice. How are you?
I'm doing really well, John. Thanks for calling.
Listener might not be familiar with this story. So when and how did this journey begin?
Well, I played in Boca earlier this year in early March. And when I came home, I had dinner over at my buddy's house, Brant Jobe, another tour player and Champions Tour player, and just had a little scratchy throat, little sore throat. And that night I went home and kind of just took a flashlight and looked down my throat, and I saw a little white thing about the size of an eraser on my tonsil. And I tried to kind of get it out with some tweezers, thought it may be a tonsil stone, but it wouldn't budge. So the next morning I woke up, called my doctor, Dr. Jody Stutz. Great doctor, fantastic, known her for a long time. And she had me come in that afternoon. She took a look at it and said, I'm going to send you to a specialist, an ear, nose, throat guy, and got me in the next day, Dr. Barnes, and he took a biopsy of it. And that was it, sent me on my way. I thought maybe a little bacterial infection or something. And then we went and played Tucson, and my wife Jenny actually caddied for me because my caddy Ryan Rue had a funeral he had to go to. And we had a great tournament. I think we finished 13th or 15th, and I was heading to Newport for one of my favorite events on our tour, the Hogue Classic. And then Monday morning, Dr. Barnes called me and said, you got cancer, and it's very aggressive. You need to come home now. And was pretty much in shock. So it was determined I had diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's. And it's basically a blood disorder. Very well could be from chemicals on the golf course and Roundup. That seems to be the number one cause of it. So, I'm 58 years on the golf course. As a little kid, 8 hours a day. Wouldn't be surprised if that's probably what it's from. But, we don't know right now. So, at that point, you're pretty worried, pretty scared. You don't know what it means. How do I put a team together? Where's the best place to go? And PET scans and CAT scans and all kinds of poke and prodding blood stuff. So, it's been a long process. So I was very fortunate. Stuart and Lisa Sink helped out. They hooked me with a guy named Dr. Tom Batchelder, who used to be at MD Anderson. He's now at Scripps in San Diego. He hooked me up with the MD Anderson people, who then worked with my doctor, Dr. Ariel, here in Mooresville, to set up a plan. And we worked the plan, did chemo treatments, 3 different chemo treatments, 21 days apart. And that little white thing that I had in the back of my throat, after I got diagnosed, I ended up going and playing the Senior PGA Championship. And by the time I got there a couple weeks later, it was like the size of a golf ball covering up all my throat, my esophagus, extremely painful to swallow and starting to get hard to breathe. So it was becoming very difficult just to go on a daily lifestyle. But once I started the chemo, it went away. By the second treatment, the whole mass was pretty much gone in the throat, which was great. I tried to play through the chemo, which was not a lot of fun, but I didn't want to be at home thinking about the cancer. I wanted to get out and do what I normally do. And I think it was good for my mental health. I don't think it was great for my golf game. I was pretty tired and dizzy a lot. And my eyesight was bad. I mean, my heart was, after chemo, your heart races like a son of a gun. I wear a Whoop, so my sleep was terrible every night. And I'd get on the golf course, and my heart would be anywhere from 120 to 160 while I'm playing. And I was riding in a cart those weeks, so I felt like every tee shot was like the first tee of a Ryder Cup. I mean, it was just brutal. So I didn't play all that good, but it was nice to kind of be out there. And, once I got inside the ropes, it was a good distraction. Then I got home after the chemo treatments, and then we decided to do radiation instead of the 4th chemo, and I did that up at Duke Medical.
Okay.
Dr. Kelsey, and they were fantastic. So for the last 2 weeks, I drove back and forth from Charlotte to Raleigh-Durham, which is about 5 hours a day round trip for about 10 minutes of radiation. Did that 10 days in a row. Drove 3,000 miles, getting it done, and got to ring the bell last Friday, cancer-free. So
there you go.
very, very excited.
We are talking to Scott McCarron here on the Augusta Golf Show. I have to take you back to something, though, Scott, because I know the listener heard this and stopped in their tracks. First, who takes a flashlight to look at it, and then who decides to pick at something like that?
Well, I don't know. I'm tell you what, John, I'm glad I did, because if I would have just kept and not done anything about it and just said, oh, it's just a sore throat, it'll go away in a couple of weeks, the longer I waited, the worse it was going to get and the more difficult it would have been to treat. So my biggest thing is early detection, and that saved my life. And so for all the listeners out there, if you've got something that's off or wrong and you can't diagnose it yourself, man, stick a flashlight with it, try to look at it wherever it is, or get to a doctor as quick as possible, because it could save your life, and it certainly did mine.
So ringing the bell last week. So what does this mean for playing? Where are you going to return this year? What's the plan?
Oh yeah, so I had to skip the British Senior Open in Portugal, which I was disappointed having to skip those, but it was good to get the treatment done. So I'm cleared to go. I'm going to play next week in Seattle. I'll leave Tuesday for the Boeing Classic. I'll play Shaw Charity Classic, where I've won twice, and then we'll head to the Allied Championship at Warwick Hill. So I'm back playing the rest of the year. Obviously, I've had to miss 3 or 4 or 5 events so far, but I feel healthy. I'm still a little. My workouts have been slowly coming. I'm still getting a little dizzy climbing upstairs, and just a little bit weak. I'm not quite hitting it as far as I was before, but you know what? I feel good. As the fact that the cancer is gone. My taste, unfortunately, with the radiation taste, it was kind of funny. We had a big celebration Friday night. I got 2 big tomahawk steaks and baked potato, my favorite glass of or bottle of wine, a nice cab, and I was so excited because I haven't drank wine for 4.5 months, and went to bite into the steak and have a glass of wine. I couldn't taste a damn thing. No. So, yeah. But that'll come back, they say, in a couple weeks.
I know you have clearance from your physicians. Do you have clearance from Mrs. McCarron?
Oh, yeah. She can hardly wait to kick me out of the house.
Okay.
Playing.
All right.
You kidding me? Yeah, yeah. I'm actually right now cleaning windows. As soon as I become cancer-free, John, I'm back doing honeydew. So I'm cleaning windows all day long right now. I'm almost done. I'm heading out to go play golf today with Hamilton Coleman, the 2025 U.S. Junior Amateur.
Sure. Team. Good for you.
Yeah. So from Augusta, Georgia. And he's coming up working with his teacher, Doug Spencer, who I work with as well, and Brant Job works with as well. So the 4 of us are going to go play Trump National Charlotte here at 12:40. And then I'm going to do a hit on Golf Channel, live hit at 4:30 today on Golf Channel. So,
good.
It'll be a good day.
You mentioned Hamilton, since we're talking about kids, and you mentioned Stewart. Have you seen, Stewart Cink and Zach Johnson have kind of played pretty well since you've been gone?
Well, it's no surprise at all. Both those guys were great players, and they played really well up until they turned 50. So, Stewart has come out gangbusters. He is hitting it so far now, where he never really was hit it that far back on the PGA Tour, but he made himself into a long hitter now, and he's a good wedge player and a good putter. So he's taken apart some of these golf courses. And Zach Johnson, when he left the tour, when he turned 50, he was still, I think, top 2 or 3 from like 120 yards and in with wedges. And he hits it far enough, and if you got a good wedge game, you're going to tear up the Champions Tour. And obviously both those guys are doing just that.
Has this changed you in some way, Scott, or do you look at things a little bit differently?
Well, I would say, how could it not?
Mm-hmm.
When you get diagnosed with, kind of a life-threatening situation, it certainly makes you think of what's really important. All the pressure that I was putting on myself here to get back, trying to win a Schwab Cup, that kind of goes by the wayside. Now, I still want to be competitive. I still want to win. I'm still practicing playing. And, I want to get back and prove to myself that I can compete again, because it's been kind of a tough last couple of years with injuries and then this cancer diagnosis. And I'm 61 now, but I still feel like I got a lot of good years left in me. And I want to get back out there and compete and play well. But in hindsight, I also want to enjoy it too.
Yeah. I can't wait to see you get back out there and enjoy it. He is Scott McCarron. Thank you. When I texted and you picked up and you said yes, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. As I said in the beginning, Scott, it's great to hear your voice. Thank you for taking the time to do this.
Well, thank you, John, for having me on. I just want to get that message out to your listeners. Early detection. If you feel something's off, make sure you go see your doctor.